something like that's probably got it, or a local hardware store. Find some nautical rope. It's just got to be like distinguishable, like kind of like hemp rope or jute rope. And it would be great to where if he's in there, this plays on a number of like levels of the themes of the show. You know how y'all kind of come around him in the bed, that kind of thing, and you kind of pop out and talk to him. If you could have some of those hemp ropes or jute ropes or whatever to throw over the top of the bed, and then y'all could both pull him back collectively against the bedpost. That way he can't physically move. That could be a bit that you do before you come out. Does that make sense? And then you could hand him, you could hand him the backs of the ropes while he's pulling him against it. That way he can't escape from his dreams. Kind of playing on the double. Yeah. So you pull him back there and he's really trapped in a dream physically. And then the last one, when he wakes up, what's your line?
It's no, not that, no.
It's just no, not that, no. Okay, well, no, not that, no could be him, the fear of him being tied up, maybe tied and burned, that kind of thing, like all these fears. But that would be really cool because then you can really pull him back against it. No, not that, and then they just pull the ropes back away, and she wakes up next to him and nothing's there. He's just up against the thing. It might add a cool, it might not. You may think it's dumb, but if you do, that's cool. I don't mind. Great grab, Prince, whatever that means. Great grab, the Prince.
Oh, of the map?
Oh my God, what a great catch. You're up there playing with it, the paper fell, and he was like, I was watching it. Oh yeah, they were playing with the paper, the map or whatever they're talking about, and somebody dropped it. And I thought it was going to go, you know, one of these things and slide off the edge. And I mean, it went like this, and he was like Miyagi. Critique. You ready? He says you're stinking drunk, right? I got stinking drunk. I've seen people stinking drunk, okay? Slur. This is one part of the show where you do not have permission to have beautiful diction or articulation like you carry the first 90% of the show. Your articulation's way too clean. We buy it. He's drunk. But show us that and show us way more physicality. And I don't mean stumbling and bumbling. I just mean he's taking this, I'm going to do it. And it's more, you know what I mean? That's what it's got to be. Because right now, it's way too pretty. It doesn't need to be pretty. It needs to be drunk. Beatrice. Beautiful Beatrice. Beautiful dress. Oh, my God. Gorgeous. Show us more pursuit after their night together. This goes back, and forgive me, because I'm going with the themes of your show. This is not coming from me. I'm just going, be a little more rough with him when you initially get him. Okay. Right? Grab him by the hair and pull him over. Again, knives. Maybe he enjoys this. I don't know. But he says what? I woke up with a what?
Terrible headache.
A terrible headache. We don't know why, but I'm guessing it's maybe because she yanked his hair around a little bit and got a little wild with him, not just because he was hungover. But what that does is it adds another what? Another element, bless you, and another layer to the show so that we're like, man, these characters are deep. You got people that are a little wild in the show. This is a wild show, is it not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Literally, I read the description of it online again while I was reading the show, and I'm like, this has got a lot of adult themes. Holy cow. Stop with the horn. Best line on the show. That was hilarious. I did say that you need something in your hands. I don't care what it is. It could be a drink. It could be a sandwich. It could be a piece of mutton chop, but you need something. You need to be eating. He's had a rough day. He says it right. He needs something to soothe himself. So I need him to just be kind of the disgusting guy that she don't want to necessarily be around and doesn't get much physical attention from. He just needs to kind of be gross, right? But he's hilarious. Quit with the horn. Oh, my God. Ah. And if he walks on like with a turkey leg, you know what I mean?
Let's get a turkey leg.
Ripping pieces off of him. He's up there eating. And he's got sprawled out. We're like, ugh. And that even gives us more motivation to go, man, she need a man, right? Juana. Oh, wait, Queen. What great energy on your re-entry. That was beautiful. Juana, where are you at? What a crazy chick. I love it. Wow. We already talked about this. I said flirt with him more, Queen. Come on now. The words you talked and you had a lot we were talking. Torquemada. Great character, more energy. Great character, more energy. More energy. Bigger. Beat him off the stage. Steal his glory. Because when you start doing that, I know guys like him. They're like me. And when you start turning on, what's he going to do?
Turn back.
He's going to turn back. And it's going to be this great battle of actors. And, man, it's going to really bolster the show. I accuse you of stupidity. That scene. Great line, the pace drug in that scene.
Okay.
The pace dropped in that scene and it got dropped. So pick up the pace and exchange its dragging. Prosecutor. Oh, there you go. Great establishment of your character. I loved your tone. You might work to find a lighting shift. Okay, we already talked about that. Find the lighting shift between purgatory and the flashbacks. We got that. Careful that you don't stay in your upper register and delivery too much Columbus. Work your lower. Oh, you stay in this really powerful, like up where he's kind of the hero and he delivers everything very loudly. Oh, they're waiting on me. At some points, have him come back down and, well, ladies, let me tell you, I don't always use that voice. That's my outside voice. This is my baller voice. Use that low register and calm him down, because there's sometimes in the show, and don't take this the wrong way, there's sometimes you come off as melodramatic, and I need you to pull realism into the style 2 or 3 times. Once at the end when he still believes that he's done nothing wrong, and you're clueless because you still believe that 200 years in purgatory and then he gets to go to heaven, right? And he's mass murdered hundreds of thousands of people, right? That's the irony in the whole show, right? So really push that. Give me a couple of moments in there where he has with, where's his girl? His original girl.
Which one?
The first one, his original.
Philippa.
Yes, that's okay. It's the very beginning. Make sure that when you do that, holy cow, I'm just realizing it's the same one. You dual rolled it, didn't you? Philippa and the Queen. You dual rolled it? Mm-hmm. Good job. Good job. Wow. Wow. It's a costume. Really good job. Make sure that you clearly play the humorous moments as well as the dramatic ones. Okay? There's a few comedic sharp bits in the show that didn't translate sometimes because they just weren't set up in the mood, so make sure you articulate. Torquemada, raise your voice when you're making your judgment on Columbus. What's that line at the very end of the show? In the matter of, in the matter of
the immortal soul of,
what's the line? Say it.
Them in the matter of the immortal soul of one Christopher Columbus, this Inquisition finds as follows.
This is the perfect opportunity to articulate to you guys what I'm talking about and shifting your contrast of vocal dialogue. In the matter and the soul of Christopher Columbus, I find the following. He's guilty. He's going to spend 200 years in purgatory, and then you get to go to heaven. You know what I mean? Show me both ranges of your voice, because I know you can. It took me years to master it, because I always wanted to be like loud, and I was a dude, you know. And they were like, you know, I learned it in an abuse scene. It was really rough, like a physically abusive scene. I learned it because two of us were in the scene together, and I had to grab her. And they were like, my director told me something beautiful. It was really kind of bad. It was beautiful for me in terms of learning. She's like, you need to physically and verbally accost her, but you cannot be loud. And that was one of the hardest directives I've ever gotten from a director. I'm like, how do I get mad at somebody about being loud? It's real easy. There's people every day who are just brutally cruel, and they never raise their voice. So really boom him and then give the judgment. Make sense? Careful that you don't turn your back to us, prosecutor. Make sure you don't turn your back to us. At one point you turned your back, I couldn't hear you. Watch the specific lines at the end of the show where you turn your back on him. You turned it, I'm not going to say you turned it early, you turned it where you were supposed to turn it. I would turn it later. I would make him, there's a line and then they should turn their backs on him, and then his next line should be what? Don't turn your backs on me, because he said a line and then everybody turned their backs on him, and then he had another 2 or 3 lines and then he noticed. I would rather you turn on the line before. That way it's and everybody except for you, and then you're the last 2 and pick that line, if that makes sense. Really build that last line too. What's your last line of the show?
I'm the man who sailed west of China, and then I'm the man who sailed west of China.
How does he end the show emotionally?
Broken.
Give me the emotion. What's it called? There's a million of them.
Broken.
Broken. Okay. I've been broken. I've been there. His whole life is a lie, right? His legacy. If you can cry, bring yourself to it. Your last line does not necessarily need to be fully delivered and understood. Why? Because you repeat it. Mm-hmm. So your last 3 lines are what?
I'm the man who sailed west of China.
And then?
I'm the man who sailed west of China.
And then?
I'm the man who sailed west of China.
So we get it. But the key is, once we hear it the first time, we're smart. We understand what you're saying. And that can be I dare you turn your backs on me. I'm the man that sailed west of China. I am the man. And he breaks down. And the last one's just a defeated, and then just faded on him. Don't even let him finish the line. Where's the light tag? Light tag. Shut it down. Make it a fade. And if you don't get the line out, that's okay. You know what I mean? Because we know. If I gave everybody $1 million to guess what the third line is, you say, I'm the man who sailed west of China. I'm the man who sailed west of China. I'm going to go, what's the third line? They're going to go, okay? Even if you don't finish it. But and he just fades. And we go. And the hair that I don't have stands up on the back of my neck. Beautiful light finish. I might not even have Juana come in to comfort him. I might just leave him right there, naked and alone in the middle of the stage, dying. Because he's the man, right? Clearly, everybody's turned their back on him, and it's his life fading away. Sorry, I went a little bit long, but you're advancing on. So, you're supposed to remind me of something, too.
The
The golden rule.
The golden rule.
My golden rule. Not anybody else's rule. My golden rule. Okay? This is a secret. Okay? It's not really a secret. I tell people this all the time. The one-act play contest is not won or lost, okay, on any specific thing in rehearsal. The one-act play contest, in my mind, is won or lost before school, during lunch, and after rehearsal. Do you know why? Because you're supposed to bring your best work to rehearsal. You're not supposed to do your best work in rehearsal. Don't make her, just you, solo director. Two directors. Don't bring the practice to them. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. In those scenes where you two are going at each other in the beginning, and those scenes back and forth with flirting, take time out of lunch, even though it's your typical thing that normal high school students do, and go work on that scene. And meet before school and work on that interaction, that dialogue and listening and pauses. And that last scene, get her to sit with you, or her to sit with you, or one of your peers to sit with you, and watch your ending scene to make sure he's destroyed and broken. But you got to do that outside of the 8-hour rule for UIL. So when you come to rehearsal, you give them what? This perfect, polished, beautiful thing, and your directors will go, and they'll say, you clearly have been what? Working on this and practicing. Okay? Pitchers don't get better just going to the field and practicing when the baseball player or teams pay them to come out there. They constantly what? Throw and practice. Okay? Football players don't get good not lifting weights. They're in the weight room and taking balls and running and doing all this stuff. Okay? Actors have got to practice outside of rehearsal. And I'm just giving you that as a freebie. If you do that, I can promise you your show will increase between now and the next performance. And it'll help your ability to do that too. It'll free you up. And the more you do it, the more motivated you'll be, the more ownership you'll take in your show. And then as it keeps on going, right, you'll be like, this is it. Sharpen, sharpen, sharpen. I know it was a lot of criticism, and you probably wanted me to say, man, you guys are great. Oh my God, it's wonderful. You already know that. Where's your trophy? Where's your trophy? Where's your trophy? There it is right there. Obviously, you're awesome. I wanted to spend most of my time giving you things I thought you could sharpen. Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
I don't want to be like me or anything like that. Beautiful show. You guys have a gorgeous ensemble. You work so well together. You're all bought in. Just keep on sharpening this stuff. Sharpen it outside of rehearsal. Sharpen it in rehearsal. Give it everything you've got. How far do you want to take this?
All the way.
If you do, hey, guess what? Today you were 5 performances away. Now you're what? 4. Work, dig, do the extra work, put it in so you go to rehearsal, it'll be good. I really enjoyed watching your show. I think I gave you guys the 1 today. I think you were my number 1 ranking today. The ensemble was just stupid good. And you represented what high school? Tulia High School, home of the Fighting Hornets. You guys represented everybody at Tulia beautifully today. Your principal should be very proud of you, and so should your parents. Great job, you guys.
Thank you.